Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right in today because we've got an urgent food safety alert that you absolutely need to know about. We're looking at a really fast-moving recall, and it affects a super popular pantry staple sold at one of the biggest retailers in the entire country. Honestly, if you've done any grocery shopping at all lately, you're going to want to pay close attention as we unpack this. Seriously, take a second and ask yourself, is there a hidden health risk sitting right there in your pantry? We usually just assume that the packaged, shelf-stable stuff we bring home is perfectly safe, right? Especially something as harmless looking as nut butter. But, as we're going to see in a second, our food safety net sometimes catches something pretty alarming after it's already hit the shelves. So let's figure out exactly what you need to be hunting for in your kitchen cabinets today. Okay, so here's the culprit. The product at the center of this whole FDA safety alert is Bettergoods Pistachio Nut Butter. Now, Bettergoods is a really popular brand, and it's sold exclusively at Walmart. If you're a pistachio butter fan, you already know it's kind of a specialty item, right? So people tend to stock up when they find a brand they actually like. But the manufacturer, Botticelli Foods, had to issue this recall because of potential salmonella contamination. Not good.
Where was it sold? 19 states affected.
Yeah, 19. This is absolutely not just some tiny, localized issue affecting a couple of stores. This recall spans across 19 different states in the U.S. I mean, to put that into perspective, that is almost 40% of the country. The distribution network for this particular batch was incredibly wide. I'm going to run through this list rapidly, so definitely scan this to see if your home state pops up. These contaminated jars were shipped out to Walmart stores in Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Kansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, South Dakota, Tennessee, Washington, and Wyoming. So if you live in any of those states and you shop at Walmart, you are definitely in the potential impact zone. Identifying the recalled jars. Crucial details. Okay, first things first, let's look at the actual packaging. The recalled Bettergoods Pistachio Nut Butter is sold strictly in 6.7-ounce glass jars. That's right around 190 grams. So if you've got a massive plastic tub of it or some completely different size, you're most likely in the clear. But if you do have this specific small glass jar sitting in your pantry, grab it, turn it around, and let's check the numbers. What you're really looking for here are the two different barcodes, the UPCs that the FDA flagged in the reports. Check the back of the label for either 19434620791 or 19434620798. If the barcode on your jar matches either of those, don't panic, but we do need to check one final super important piece of information. And this right here is the definitive identifier, the lot code. The contaminated batch is stamped with lot code LB028ACP04. Right next to that, you are going to see an expiration date of January 28th, 2027, printed directly on the glass. Actually, this is a brilliant example of how precise our food tracking is nowadays. The manufacturer explicitly stated that no other lots are affected by this recall, literally just this one specific production run. How was it discovered? The investigation. This timeline is absolutely fascinating because it shows exactly how the system is supposed to work. You see, this wasn't discovered because someone got sick and went to the hospital. It was found through totally proactive, routine testing. On July 7th, Walmart was officially notified that testing was happening. Then, just 10 days later, on July 17th, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services confirmed they found Salmonella. Get this, they literally just pulled 3 random jars off a shelf at a Florida Walmart for a routine quality check. And that one random check successfully flagged the hazard and kicked off a massive 19-state recall to protect everybody. Talk about finding a needle in a haystack, right? Salmonella symptoms and risks, what to watch for. First and foremost, I've got some genuinely fantastic news. According to the FDA, as of the time this recall went out, there have been literally zero illnesses or injuries reported. Because Florida caught this during that routine inspection, they basically stopped an outbreak dead in its tracks before it even started. But if you do happen to have this stuff in your home, you still need to be hyper-vigilant. If you don't know, the realities of a Salmonella infection are pretty brutal. The symptoms are severe. We're talking fever, diarrhea that can sometimes be bloody, nausea, vomiting, and really sharp abdominal pain. But the trickiest part of the whole thing is the incubation period. Symptoms can hit you as soon as 6 hours after eating the contaminated food, sure, but they can also lay totally dormant for up to 6 days before knocking you off your feet. That huge delay is what makes it so incredibly hard for people to trace their sickness back to what they actually ate. Once the symptoms do kick in, the illness usually lasts up to 7 days. Obviously, if you've eaten this pistachio butter and start feeling any of this, you need to seek medical attention right away. While most healthy adults will bounce back from salmonella within a week, the stakes are way, way higher for vulnerable folks. The FDA specifically highlights that young kids, elderly individuals, and anyone with a weakened immune system are at the highest risk. For those groups, a standard intestinal infection can actually cross over into the bloodstream, and that can cause severe and even fatal complications. That right there is exactly why recalls like this are handled with such extreme urgency. What should you do? Next steps? All right, so the instructions from the FDA and Botticelli Foods are incredibly straightforward. Step 1. Do not consume the product under any circumstances. Even if it looks completely fine, smells fine, tastes fine, remember, Salmonella is totally invisible to the naked eye. Step 2. You can either toss it immediately into a secure trash can, or you can take the jar right back to the Walmart where you bought it. And step 3, if you do take it back, Walmart's going to give you a full refund, no questions asked. If you've got any more questions or concerns about this, Botticelli Foods, they're the ones who actually make this for Walmart, they've set up direct lines for consumers. You can email their quality assurance team at quality@botticelifoods.com, or you can just call them up at 631-543-7000. Actually, some sources also list 546-700, but either way, you want to dial extension 203. Their team is picking up the phones from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. A routine test stopped what could have easily been a major multi-state outbreak before a single person got sick. We normally only hear about the food safety system when things go horribly wrong, right? But this is a brilliant example of the system working exactly as it's supposed to, quietly protecting us behind the scenes. It kind of makes you wonder, what else is our food safety system catching out there today to keep our families safe? Thank you so much for joining me to break this all down. Go check those pantries, stay safe out there, and I will catch you on the next explainer.